recording has started. Going back off. All right.
It's not letting me record. It said to ask the host to record.
Yes, you have to ask for permission because everybody doesn't get access to record.
Okay.
So would anybody else like to be able to record locally?
I would.
I would.
You're set now, Brenda. Todd. Okay.
Well, the issue, the recording you're creating will be available via the District 40 website.
Yes, we're gonna put it on the YouTube channel.
Then
Right.
I'm good. Thank you, though.
All right. So does anybody else need a personal recording access for your local? Going once, twice? All right. Perfect. Well, welcome everyone. I am Michael Pope, and I am truly excited to be talking to you all today about Zoom training, really to help you become a more confident Zoom host. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. We will get started. I'm excited. We have 34 people on today. Lots and lots of familiar faces, people that I know that are really comfortable with Zoom. So I'm excited even for your input, because some of you may have experienced things that I haven't experienced in Zoom. All right. So our goal today really is to work together as a team, because the goal is for us to have more people who are trained and feel confident in Zoom so that they can help serve for some of the area contests that are coming up. The TLIs, COTs, even club meetings or special events on Zoom. Because let's face it, we're going to be in this virtual world for a long time. So it's important for us to get comfortable with it. All right. And not deal with that Zoom fatigue, as my buddy Mike Davis there talks about. You know, we don't want to have people experiencing that. We want you to be really comfortable and confident with Zoom. So let me get myself situated here. All right. So my number one goal today is to equip you with the confidence and skills needed to be a Zoom master. And so it's going to be a combination of, I'm going to give you some different scenarios to perform, things to try out. We're going to all learn together. I'm going to put you in breakout rooms. I'm going to have some of you acting as the host, putting other people in breakout rooms. So it's going to be a good learning experience. And my goal is to make sure that all of your questions that I can answer personally get answered today. So it's going to be a combination of what I covered today. And also there's a handout that we sent out along with the confirmation for this meeting, the reminder confirmation, that has really good instruction from Toastmasters International on how to use Zoom as a Zoom host. And so for me personally, I've been on Zoom for the last couple years, using it personally as well as for business. I've hosted district TLIs, conferences, regional meetings as well, because I work with our regional advisor, Karen Isaacs, to help host some of her training that she's doing for district leaders. And I absolutely love it. Zoom has great functionality, and I think you guys are going to get a lot of this today. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to put something in the chat for you real quick. I'm going to add the PDF handout for the Zoom training. So this is something you can refer back to after this training. Or even now, if you have multiple screens, you can also look through it. But that has some really good links and resources for understanding how Zoom works. All right. So next, what I want to do is actually do a short poll with everybody, just to see where everybody's at.
Just a brief reminder, excuse me, Mike.
Yes, sir.
For those who are using Apple iPhones or iPads, you might not be able to download what's in the chat. That is a technological difference depending upon the platform that you're on. However, if you are using a PC, a laptop, or an Android device, you might be able to. So that might be something to keep in mind, that even though you might have the latest version of Zoom, it differs per technology platform.
Absolutely. That is so true, Ken. Thank you. All right. And so like I mentioned before, so anyone who registered for this meeting, you also should have received a confirmation email that has a link to this same document in it. So you all should have access to it. So I'm going to launch a short poll just to get a feel for where everyone's at today. All right, we get some interesting results in.
Oh,
All right, is anyone not seeing the poll?
hitting submit helps you get it back.
You're awesome, Lori. All right. Waiting on 6 more people to vote. Okay, 5 more.
Just remember, because I'm co-host, I cannot vote.
I got you. You're not on the count.
Hey, Michael, this is Kim.
Hey, Kim.
Out of curiosity, the PDF that you attached, I only see it as a 1-pager. Is that what I'm supposed to see?
No, it should have multiple pages. You only see 1 page?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I must have put the wrong problem. Okay, thank you. I put the wrong document.
Okay.
All right, so I'll make sure I get the right document. Thank you.
All right, sure.
And as Zoom host, you want to make sure you have the right handout that you put in chat for everybody, all right? All right, so waiting on 2 more people to vote. So is anyone having a challenge voting? Let's see. All right, well, I don't want to wait anymore. So let's look at the poll results. I'm going to end the polling. I'm going to share the results. So looking at our poll here, the #1 response from 58% of you says, I know how to use Zoom as a participant, but I need help hosting. And I believe that's a lot of people in District 40, right? We've attended lots of meetings where we've been on Zoom, we've been in breakout rooms, we've participated in polls, but we've never actually had the opportunity to host. And so that's one of the things we really want to do today. So that's our #1. Let's see, next is I am comfortable hosting my own meetings and webinars. That's good, very good, very good. I'm comfortable hosting club meetings. Yep, thank you. All right. So some of the areas where we need help. Got a few people who feel completely lost on Zoom and need help. So hopefully after today, you'll respond differently to that. I know how to create and launch polls. So only a handful of you know how to create and launch polls. And that's understandable, especially if you're using the district provided Zoom accounts, because only right now the division directors like myself have access to those accounts to be able to create polls. If you're just in your meeting and you're running it as the meeting host, but you don't have the credentials, the username and password for the website, then you can't create polls. So that's understandable. All right. So very good, very good. All right, thank you all. All right. So now on to our first task for all of you. As Zoom host, one of the things you want to do is make sure that personally you're up to date with the latest version of Zoom, but also you want to be able to help your participants identify what version they're on. Because sometimes when you have issues and people are like, it's not working, this isn't working, and you're expecting a certain feature to be able to work, they may just have an older version of Zoom. And for any of you, I know Kent is aware of this, Zoom is constantly coming out with updates. There, at one point, John Humper and I were trying to put together some documentation on Zoom, but they kept changing the screen layouts, button names, because they're constantly making it better, which is a good thing, but you want to make sure that people are on the latest version. So there's a couple ways to figure it out. #1, if you're on like a PC or a Mac type of device, and you're first launching the Zoom platform, there's a way where you can click on your profile, where your picture is, click on that, and there's something that says check updates. I do that on a regular basis so I can get the incremental updates and not have to wait for the major updates. However, right now, while you're in this meeting right now, in the upper left-hand corner, you should see a little badge. Your badge might be orange, it might be green, but you should see a badge in the upper left-hand corner. If you see that badge, can you please click on it? And it should say Webinar Wednesday Zoom Training, the meeting ID. Okay. And so if you see that link, and some of you may not be able to see it depending on how you're accessing it, But if you see that link right there, to the right of it, there should be a little gear icon. If you click on that gear icon, it'll give you a screen that looks like the screen I have here on the right in the shared screen, like this screen here.
Michael, I
Yes.
had a green and a red button. The green one looked more like a badge,
Okay, so click on the green one.
but maybe I should have done the red one because I'm not seeing the other things you're saying.
So the red one is probably for record, let you know that the meeting is being recorded.
Okay, okay.
So you want to click on the green badge or the yellow or maybe orange.
It would be orange with a exclamation point because some individuals are logged in unsecured,
Yes.
but don't worry about it.
I did do the green, but I'm not seeing any kind of wheel. I'm seeing at the top it says settings.
Hey, Julene, what platform are you on? Are you on a PC, laptop?
Desktop.
Okay.
Yeah, she's on a
that's-
PC desktop. Did you connect through the browser or through the app? Do you remember?
I don't know. What I did was I clicked on the registration thing that Lanham sent.
Okay. So what happens in that case is you may actually be connected through the browser, which this meeting was set up to allow people to join the meeting from the browser. And if somebody connects using their browser, the settings are slightly different, right? So with the browser, you don't see the gear icon because you don't actually have a client software. So you're automatically using the latest supported browser version of the application. So you don't have to worry about your actual version. But there are some things, Julian, that you may not be able to do because you're using the browser versus the client. And so for the other people out there that were able to see their version number, what are some of the version numbers that you see?
5.47.
Okay, 5.47.
5.46.
Okay,
5.49.
okay. And
4.2.
5.49 is the latest version as of today. Yeah.
I need to update.
Yeah, so you can see there that a lot of people, I mean, we have different versions on the line here. So sometimes that does cause problems if your participants don't have the latest version.
Michael,
Yes.
can you repeat what you said about coming in through the browser versus the client?
Yes, Judy. So if you come in as a browser, you're not actually using client software. So in this case here, you're not able to see what version you're on because you're just using the latest version of the browser. And the browser works if it's enabled. However, you can't do all the functionality from the browser alone. Sometimes you have to have the client to get full functionality of Zoom.
I say sign in and I put the meeting ID. Am
Okay.
I coming in through the browser or am I coming in through the client?
So was that sign-in dialogue on a website?
I did the Zoom shortcut on my desktop computer.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna actually show you. I'm gonna show you guys how to
Michael,
actually connect through the.
Mike, I'm not sure. I think I'm lost already.
Okay.
This is Juliana. What am I supposed to be looking for? Because I see verified Zoom version.
Yes. So Julian, did you click on the badge?
I didn't think I saw the badge.
Okay. So in your upper left-hand corner on your screen, there should be a little icon. It looks like a badge.
Yeah, meeting information.
Yeah. So click on that. In the right corner of that dialog, do you see a little gear icon? It's like a white circle, like a white wheel.
Yeah.
Oh, so click on that.
I did.
And at the bottom of that screen, the statistics screen, you should see version
5.47.
Okay, perfect. So that's what we were trying to see there.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
If you like,
And
Mike,
what did you say was the latest? 549?
5.49, yes.
Okay, thank
Kent?
you.
Were you gonna say something, Kent?
yes, you can share your screen and actually show them.
It's up there.
Yeah, I am sharing the PowerPoint.
you're sharing a PowerPoint, but I'm saying, if I can show you what I'm talking about, but I don't want to steal your thunder.
Go for it, Ken. You can share.
Okay. Well, first of all, are we done with the poll?
Yes.
Okay.
They're back? Oh, wow.
Okay, everyone should see my screen, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Right up here in the upper right-hand corner, upper left-hand corner, you have something called, see that little orange shield right there with the exclamation point? When I put my cursor on there, it says meeting information. You click on that, then it'll pop up this nice little dialog box that has the meeting ID, the host, the copy of the link, and all this other stuff. When he's talking about the gear, he's talking about this thing right here. You click on that bad boy and you get this screen pop up, and this tells you all the useful information, the statistics. Now this is coming from me.
There's
Don't worry,
5.47.
Yeah, I'm using 5.4.7. Don't worry, I'll redo this again for some of those that have that blank look on their face. By the way, I'm currently using a HP desktop Windows 10 version. So once again, go to the top of the screen, and I'm using the client, not the browser version, but the client version. And so at the top, right here at the upper left-hand corner, it has the orange shield with the exclamation point. I click on that. It pops up this dialog box. You might not see it because I'm sharing the screen. You see the gear that's on the upper right-hand side of the dialog box. You click on that, and then it will show the settings of what it is for me. Now I will unshare, turn the share off, and let you folks try that if you can. Okay.
All right.
I want to,
Thank you, Ken.
Who's
I wanna-
speaking, please? Please identify.
It's Lori.
it's Laurie. When, depending on the view you have set, when you guys go to share, we see the speaker on the right, the screen on the left. And when you're in that mode, you can't see any of the stuff you just did because that was all really tiny. Just letting you know that you might want to recommend that people go to view of,
Speaker view.
well, now that you're not presenting, it's gone. There was a third. When you're presenting, there are three options. One is speaker view, one's gallery view, and then the third one is, I think, standard view. They need to go to standard view to be able to see what
So like
you're
right
doing.
now I'm sharing, Lori. What do you see? Do you see
I
the
see
browser?
two screens. I see two screens side by side, but the one on the left, which is what you're sharing, is so small that I couldn't see. I knew what he was doing because I had done it, but I couldn't see everything he was doing because it's so small. And I've got a pretty decent sized monitor.
So do you know how
I'm
to
just,
change it so it's full screen?
I do. I'm suggesting maybe other people don't.
So I mean, also tell us, because that's the thing about.
Oh, okay. Go up to the
Yeah.
top right-hand corner. There's a little crown looking thing that says view, and you would pick standard view. And then you would get only what's being presented.
All right. So is everybody seeing what Lori's talking about?
Yeah.
And sometimes you want to see the speaker and the active speaker and the shared screen. So really that's your ideal display.
And if you're on a monitor, you can also adjust those screen sizes by, like, there's a little double line in the middle.
That's right.
Double arrow. Yeah, you just move it to
Yeah, and you can adjust those to make it bigger or smaller too.
That's wonderful, Lavinia. Thank you so much. I've accidentally done that before, never intentionally.
So one of the tricky things about being a Zoom host, just so you all know, is there's so many settings. So there are settings that you can have set for your particular client profile that will make things not work exactly the same way. Like, for example, one of the settings is, what is it, Ken? Is it side by side when you're, I'm trying to remember what it is. Let's see.
So side by side, at least for when you share, I have one share screen, and then I have on my right-hand screen, I have every view of everyone who's participating.
So what can you see me sharing now?
Right now, you're sharing the settings.
Okay, so you guys can't see the settings. Okay.
Yes.
So there's a mode called side by side for share screen. And so it puts the picture, the active speaker, and their screen side by side for me by default. And I like doing
Well,
that.
I've actually
Right.
seen two of those. I have two of those options. One is what you're sharing and the speaker, and then the other one is called side by side speaker, and the other one is side by side gallery, where I see what you're sharing on the left and lots of little peoples on the right.
So where are you seeing this at, Lori? Is this in
What
the
do you-
settings screen or is this somewhere else you're seeing it?
No, top right, that
The
view
top, okay.
button at the top right. When it drops down, right now I have three options: standard, side by side speaker, and side by side gallery, and exit. I have the option to exit full screen, which is what I'm in right now.
Okay.
And something you did a few seconds ago, Mike, actually had your picture in the share screen. I don't know what you clicked on, but just if you didn't know that, something
I
you
believe
clicked
that you is on the video backgrounds, and it actually had him and manipulating his virtual background.
Is that what you saw?
That's what I saw.
Oh, setting.
I mean, I
the
can go
video.
here and see
Oh,
my,
okay, okay.
There it
Okay,
is.
so
this
that's
screen
what
here.
I saw.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's what I saw.
So this dialogue right here is for the benefit of everybody. Did we lose? Okay. Can you guys still hear me?
I
Yeah.
can hear you
Okay,
Yeah.
it got quiet. My view changed. I just want to make sure you can still hear me.
because we're listening.
Okay. So this dialogue that's up here, this is called your settings. And the way you get to it is there's quite a few options, but one easy way is if you click on the up arrow down near where it says stop video. Don't click stop video, just click the up arrow and you can do video settings. You can also do the same thing for audio and do audio settings. It'll take you to the same place essentially. And today we're not going to talk about all these different settings in here because we could spend an hour just talking about all these different settings you can do. But one of the things you may have is you may have your participants may have something set wrong here and they're stuck. So at the beginning of the meeting, well, one of the questions that Bill Murrow asked me was he had some new earbuds and the sound was all the way up and he couldn't figure out how to adjust them. So I had him come in here, we clicked on audio and he adjusted his audio settings in here. So like I can adjust my microphone audio up to be a little higher if I want to. For some reason I can't click on it now, but. Oh, because I've got automatic. Okay, so I can turn automatic off and then I can adjust the sound if I want to for my microphone. I can also pick what I'm using for my speaker, whether I'm using my headset speaker, my computer speaker, or another speaker I may have plugged in. I can choose what I'm using for my microphone as well. So there's lots of options in here. You can come in and test, and we're gonna talk more about this, but there's lots of options where I'd encourage you to, at a minimum, install the client and just play around with it, to look at some of the different settings, because there's lots of different settings in here. Like my video settings, I can switch my video cameras. I can mirror my display, which I don't need to do. I can do a touch up if I wanted to. I can adjust for lighting, and there's some advanced settings as well. I can also, for the virtual backgrounds, a lot of people ask about virtual backgrounds, and they're going to ask you as the host. And so you can bring them in here, and they can come here and they can set their virtual background, assuming they have the right lighting and the right background and all that.
Mike, how do you install the client, and how are you getting to this screen where you're showing settings? Can I do that now, or do I do that in the initial setup for our meeting?
So Julian, when you look down in your lower left-hand corner where your meeting controls are, do you see an up arrow at all?
Wait a minute. Now,
Near where it says stop video?
I see mute and I see stop video. Which
Do you see an up arrow?
Yes, for both of them.
Okay, so click on that up arrow.
For which one?
Anyone.
Okay, I'm gonna do
And then do settings.
okay. All right, got it.
Okay,
All right.
perfect.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, so that kind of gets you to the screen. And I don't want to spend too much time on the settings screen, but there's a lot you can do here, even with recording. So for me, I do a lot of recording. I'd encourage you, if you plan on recording a lot of things locally, look at the settings here for recording. So that way it records the way you want it to record. For example, some people choose to have a timestamp, like the actual date and time on their video. I don't want that on my videos, so I make sure it's turned off. And then there's some other settings you can look at as well. Okay.
Why don't you want it on your videos?
It kind of, I don't want the time to date my video, because I want to be able to use my videos in the future without being concerned about something dating,
Okay.
like a timestamp. That's just me personal.
Okay. I was just curious.
I add in a few items if I may, please.
Yes, sir.
One thing to keep in mind when you're recording a meeting, I use the recording function when I serve as a Zoom master for other particular meetings. And sometimes what I do is I have to put out a warning to those participants that I am recording the meeting and tell them what the purpose is for the recording. Now, I know what Mike does is he likes to publish his stuff for others to look and things of that sort, which is one of the reasons why he probably doesn't want a timestamp on there. For my cases, the Zoom meetings that I master, I record them, and then what I do is I take the audio file and I use a service called Otter, that's OTTER.ai. And I run that through, and it will try its best to create a transcript of the meeting. And so then I give it to the official person who's recording, who's the meeting recording minutes and things of that sort. So, but that's whenever I record, I always say, okay, I'm recording this for meeting minutes purposes and things of that sort, because some people get a little bit antsy when you're recording them. And they just might want to know, okay, what are you going to do with this recording? Just to let them know that this is the reason why I'm going to use it for. So that's.
And Kent, can you put the name of that tool in the chat again?
I will do that.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Kent. All right, so let's get off this here.
Thank you for the interruption.
All right. So let's go on a little bit. So one of the things you want to make sure you're comfortable with is how to share your screen. Like right now, I'm sharing my screen. And so for all of you right now, what I want you to do is click on the little green share screen button at the bottom. All right. And so a dialog should have popped up for everybody. And you should see different options. Like you're going to see your different screens if you have multiple screens. You should also see an option for the whiteboard if you wanted to share a whiteboard. You also have an advanced option where you can share just portions of your screen that work out really well. Or you can share, feed from a second camera if you had a second camera.
You cannot start sharing while the other participant is sharing.
Yeah.
Correct. It's a great point. So yeah, so right now, because I'm a host and Kent is a co-host, so he probably could stop me, I think, as a co-host, but no one else can stop me from sharing. However, Bill, if you were sharing your screen, I could stop you as host. But only one person can share at a time currently right now.
But doesn't the host have to give permission to share?
And I did. So it's a great point there, Bill. And I did give permission. And so let me see. I'm going to stop sharing real quick. And I'm going to show you guys something. So if I share.
Okay, now I can share. Okay.
Okay, yeah, so now you're able to share your screen. Very good.
Very good.
All right. And so now I can say, yes, I can stop Bill from sharing if I want to.
So I experience this no matter what meeting I'm in, when it changes host of screen sharing, it kicks me out of that window. Yep, there it went again.
Yeah, that's a Zoom feature, I would call it.
Okay,
Because
that's fine,
I know,
as long as it's not just me, I'm cool.
yeah, because I know, like for me personally, Lori, I'll have my screen set up, and then I go to a breakout room and come back, or somebody shares their screen and then stops it, and it kind of messes up my layout, and I have to readjust things again. So yeah, I understand. All right, it's a great point there.
Yeah, and Michael, some things are set by the settings they have in their profile as opposed to setting it here. So like the whole thing with the Zoom host kicking the person out versus the person being able to kick the Zoom host out. There is another setting in the profile of the account holder that you can allow participants to be able to take over sharing.
Yes, and then there's an option. So are you able to see my screen now?
Who, me?
Or everybody?
Yes.
You see my controls? Okay.
Yes.
So as host or even as co-host, you have access to a new security badge. And so I can click on the security badge and I have an option that says I can allow participants to share screen, or I can choose to not allow them to share screen. Okay. I can allow participants to chat. So for example, like during our contest, a lot of times we'll disable the chat feature just so people aren't sending chats during the contest.
Yep.
Or we can set it where they only can chat to a host during the contest. Okay, and so you can disallow people to rename themselves, unmute themselves. I can make it where you can no longer start your video. You can't annotate on shared content. So lots of options that you have as a host here. Okay. And so we've already talked about the share screen, how the dialog comes up and you get your different options for sharing. I also have the option of changing where I can say where one participant can share at a time or multiple participants can share simultaneously.
Oh.
So if I turn this on, I'm going to turn this on because it doesn't. So Kent, can you try sharing something? You have to have two screens to really be able to see both contents, but it doesn't really work the best, I don't think. But it isn't something you can do. So are you sharing, Kent?
No, that's me.
Oh, you're sharing something, Lori?
Yep. And I can stop right there.
So go ahead and share again, somebody. Because I just want to see what people are seeing. Like, are you seeing my screen still, or are you able to see Lori's screen?
I just see a blue screen with a window in it.
Is that what you're sharing, Lori?
No, now I'm sharing the word search page from the Epic Times.
I don't
Don't
see
see
that.
it, Lori.
No.
Do you want me to stop sharing?
Are you sharing also, Kent?
Oh,
Yes.
so I guess
What are you
that's
sharing?
I'm sharing my task manager output.
Is that the blue screen you're seeing?
Yeah, I can see that.
No,
I can see that.
I only see the blue screen.
that's all I see is the blue screen.
Yeah,
So
that's all
I
I
can
see.
see.
As
So
well.
this is what Kent is sharing. He's sharing his task manager, but you guys can't see my screen anymore, right?
Correct.
Can't.
Yeah, so that's the thing about the allowing multiple people. It doesn't really work the way I think it should work, in my opinion. So I'm gonna put it back
I
on
stopped
one.
sharing.
All right, thanks, sir.
It has no repeatable logic is what I'm hearing.
I love that. No repeatable logic. All right.
The word you're
Undocumented
looking
feed.
for is redundancy.
No, I meant you allow multiple people and it has no method to its madness is what I meant.
All right.
It just picks whomever.
So we're gonna have a little fun here. Let's see, we have 39 people. So I'm gonna put you all in breakout rooms first. When we come back, we'll talk about, I'll teach you how to actually create breakout rooms. But for now, I'm gonna put you in breakout rooms. And I just want you to introduce yourself. I want you to practice, take turns sharing your screen with your group. So share something, it could be a photo, something in your browser, just anything really. All right, and let them know what you hope to get out of the session. So
And
guys
if
just
you
have
share a
little
photo,
dialogue.
keep it G-rated, please.
Yes, yes. Unless you're in a room with Kent, right? Then all rules hold.
Oh, stop.
All right, so let's see here. All right, so I am going to automatically assign. And actually, let me do this. So you guys got your instructions, right? I'm gonna stop the share. I'm gonna share this screen again. Okay. So right now, what I'm doing is I'm going to create 10 breakout rooms. It's going to be 3 to 4 participants per room. And I'm going to assign you automatically. And so what that means is when I click open rooms, it's going to automatically move you from this main room to your assigned breakout room. So what I'm going to do first, and so this is typically what we do at a contest.
Michael, does
Yes.
that mean if it automatically assigns, you don't have any idea who's going to go into which room though? Is that right?
That's correct, Stephen. However, you can reassign people as well. So if it was a contest, I would want to manually assign people because I'd only be assigning like the speakers to a breakout room or the judges to a breakout room. So that would be a little different. Right, so good point. And if it was an event where we just had specialized breakout rooms, I would let participants choose which room they went to.
So
Right,
I
so
have a question
Yes.
for you, Michael.
Yes.
I saw the pop-up create 10 breakout rooms, but where do you have, because you're leading this, you have a special menu, or
Yes.
is there a menu that I could also see myself?
No, so right now you can't see it. In a little bit, I'm going to make everybody a co-host and you'll be able to see it. But right now you can't see it. So what I did, Cheryl, at the bottom, it says breakout rooms. If you can see that at the bottom of my screen. So I clicked on that and that brought up this dialog here. So now I'm going to create 10 breakout rooms, but the rooms aren't going to open. So there shouldn't be any fear in creating the rooms in advance. I like to create my rooms as early as possible. So right now I'm going to create 10 breakout rooms and see it randomly assign people. So you can get a feel for who's in which room. And let's say, Johnny's a troublemaker. I really don't want him to be in this room. I'm going to move Johnny to room number 2. And then I'll put Stephen in room number 3. Okay. So I just manually moved them. I could have also switched them. So if I said, really, I just want to exchange Johnny for Stephen back, and I can do that. Okay. So those are some features you can do when you're moving people around. The move or the exchange.
That's cool. Nice tool.
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
Well designed.
you may have times when, let's say if somebody else joined the meeting right now, they wouldn't be assigned. So what I would have to do is actually add additional rooms. I could add an extra room if I wanted to. There's nobody to assign to it right now, but if a new person joins, I can assign them to my extra room if I wanted to, or I can assign them to one of these rooms as well. Okay. So so far I've created the rooms, but I haven't opened anything up.
So
Now,
Michael, quick
yes.
question. So if you can move people around, can you do it after they're already in the room, or you can only do it when they're out here? So
Only when
say
they're out
somebody's
here.
if somebody's in a room, you can't move them. They have to leave the room and then you move them somewhere else?
No, actually, if you're in a room, I can move you as host.
Okay.
Right, Kent? We can move people that are in rooms, right? They don't have to come back to the main room. Yeah. Okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had to do that.
Frozen?
I had to do that when we had when I was the Zoom host for the last TLI.
Yep, exactly. If they were in the wrong room, you just
Of course,
move
the
them.
interesting thing is I was expecting the interface to look and operate one way, and I had recently upgraded to the latest version of Zoom, and then its operation was completely different. And it's like, oh my, something new has been added.
So one new thing that Kent just made me remember something. So one new thing they added is now co-hosts also can create breakout rooms. So if Kent clicks on the breakout room button right now, he's going to see a similar dialogue. However, his isn't set with people with names in them, right? Yours is just blank, right, Kent?
Right now, it just says create one breakout room and automatically assign for 37 people. So
yeah,
but you
exactly.
still have the power because you're the host. I'm just a humble co-host.
No, but really, so the way it works is the first one who opens the rooms wins. So if Kent creates some rooms and I create rooms, the first person that opens the rooms is going to win in that scenario.
Michael?
Yes.
I saw when you were scrolling down the bottom, a maximum of 12 rooms. Is that that the most there can be?
Oh no, I think it's
Oh,
50
okay.
or so rooms. I can keep adding rooms all day, or I can delete rooms if I need to.
Okay, I got you. Thank you.
You're welcome. So I'm just gonna delete these empty ones. No reason to keep them.
What happens when you select that options button there?
Great question. So that's gonna be next. So before I open up the rooms, I'd recommend you click the options button. And you have a couple different options. One is I can allow participants to choose a room. In this case, I don't want you being able to choose your room. I can choose to allow participants to return back to the main session at any time. If this is a contest, I probably wouldn't necessarily want my contestants to be able to come back to the main room on their own. All right, so in that case, I would turn it off.
Gotcha.
Right. Automatically move all assigned participants into the breakout rooms. I love this option. This is like one of the favorite things that they added, because what this means is I don't have to tell people you're going to get a pop-up that says join this breakout room, right? If I have it on automatic, it's going to automatically move you in most cases. Every once in a while, if somebody has an older version, it doesn't work, but most of the time it's going to move you from the main room to your assigned breakout room. All right, and so for our session, I said it's going to be 5 minutes. All right, it's going to notify me. This notify me pop up. So after 5 minutes, it's going to give me a quick notification. When I get that notification, I can choose to extend it to add more time to the room, or I can let it close. I can also add a countdown for the breakout rooms. So that way, at the end of the 5 minutes, you'll get a little warning saying, okay, this room is closing in 30 seconds.
Gotcha.
Yep, and so I have up to 120, right? So I'm going to put 15 seconds for today. All right. So you guys have your assignment. Introduce yourselves. Someone shares your screen, like practice sharing your screen. Okay, those are the main things. So I'm going to open up the breakout rooms now. If you run into any problems inside your breakout room, there's a little help icon. You can just click that and we'll see if we can help you out. All right, rooms are opening now. Hello, Fred.
On.
Okay, 5 minutes is not long enough for people to get to know each other. I'm just saying that.
We were
Is
just
this
about to break up
Toastmaster
the
no-tell hotel? What?
Mike, you're
We're
muted.
Toastmasters. It could take all night.
3 p.m. Don't time me.
Hey, Mike, you're muted.
This is about Zoom, not us. It's not about you, Kent.
Oh, behave.
Michael, you're muted.
Michael, you're muted.
And I was just talking away. Y'all.
Well, I saw your lips. I was like,
You know what? I was trying to tell
Your
you you
mute
were
is
muted.
on, Mike.
Is
And I
that what you
can't
call
read
it, sir?
lips.
he gave a whole dissertation and didn't
I
even
know.
know
I was
it.
excited.
Well, the funny thing is, I was trying to tell you, Mike, that you were muted, and I was muted. So I think it automatically muted us when we came back into the main room.
So that's one thing about the settings are set where when you come back, when you return from a breakout room, it mutes everybody. So yeah, fun.
Was that because that's how you set it, or is that just how it works?
There's a setting somewhere. I remember seeing it. I can't tell you where it's at right now. I think it's on the website.
No, wasn't it on the, when you set those settings out? I think it was in there in the gear.
Yeah, I think when you initially set it up, you got to set it up that way.
It must be.
Because you can come in with no picture, muted, however you want to do it.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna do one more round of breakout rooms. So this is just practice for us for our speed networking at the conference that we're gonna do later. So Wendy Simmons, I made you co-host, and this time I want you to create the breakout rooms for us. And so this time, Wendy, go ahead and create 20 rooms for 5 minutes.
Okay, I do not have breakout room on my menu.
You don't see it? Let me see.
Nope.
Can I ask that the majority of us turn our video off? I'm really having a hard time. I think we're sucking up bandwidth. Just for temporarily, I would really appreciate it.
All right. So Wendy, you still don't see the breakout button at the bottom?
No, I do not.
I don't have it either.
I don't.
Well, no, I made Wendy a co-host so she could try it. I'm gonna make somebody else a co-host. Who else would like to test out the breakout rooms?
You know, I'll do it, Mike. Bill Morrow.
All right, Bill Morrow. All right.
It might
Right,
be
Bill.
the question I have is for those who are co-hosts that don't have the breakout room. My next question is, what version of Zoom are they using?
I know Bill has the latest, so we'll check with
No,
Bill.
I don't. I'm like 4.7.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty close. So you got the latest.
I got
major
4.72.
And I know I have breakout rooms on my account because I see it on when I have it open, so I know I have it.
So
Just
Bill,
today today.
do you see it at the bottom?
Okay,
Bill?
I see security, participants, polls, chat, and no breakout room.
So you don't see breakout rooms either. Let's see.
See a lot more, but not breakout rooms.
Why is it?
Hey,
not-
then you go for it.
So Kent can see breakout rooms.
So do you think it just only limits to one co-host seeing breakout rooms?
I think you have to set up the option for breakout rooms.
How come I got the power? The rest
Maybe
of you
because
don't.
you
Was
were.
it because it was before I opened up the room? So let me. I'm gonna recreate. Well, let me see.
Try making me the co-host, Mike. I know I changed my settings so that if I was a co-host, I'd see breakout rooms. So try that.
Okay,
Right.
hold on one second. Let's see. So Bill, look now. Do you see breakout rooms at the bottom?
Okay, down to bottom, I see security, participants, polls, chat. No, I do not see breakout
Okay, so you
rooms.
still don't see breakout rooms. And
Nope.
who was that said they had their settings changed?
Okay, Denise Jarrett.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
try
gonna make
me.
you a co-host.
Yeah, I see it.
So you see it.
Yes.
What did
So
you
it's in the settings. You have to set it up in advance.
Is it in your personal
If you are a
settings?
co-host, you would see your breakout rooms.
So
Yeah,
Denise,
so
what
you give
settings
them-
are you referring to?
They'll probably be your account profile.
Yeah, in your account profile. I'm sorry. Thanks, Johnny.
Oh, it's actually Kent, but
Okay.
And you get
So
all
you
the
look so
credit,
much
man.
alike.
You get all
So
the
Denise,
credit.
can you create 20 breakout rooms for us?
I sure can, Michael.
Yep, and actually just set it for 4 minutes. So it don't go too long.
Hey, Mike, can you make me a co-host? It's Lavinia.
Sure.
See if I have mine set. And I'll try to figure out what settings she changed.
How many breakout rooms do you want me to create?
Go ahead and make 20.
Yeah, see,
20?
I see breakout rooms.
You just see it too? Okay.
So let me look at the settings and see what's in the settings.
All right, all done. You want me to just go ahead and open all the rooms?
Yeah, do you set it for 4 minutes?
Let me see.
Click on options.
4 minutes, yeah.
Mike, what do you want us to do in the rooms? Just
the same thing we did before.
Okay.
Tell
All right,
jokes.
I'm ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Open them up. All right.
Oh, that's wild. So
All
as
right,
the hosts, we aren't sent to breakout rooms.
Correct.
But we can join whichever one we want. I see join going down the list.
Yep. So that means you can pick any room and jump in there, which is cool.
Okay.
So Denise, where are you from?
I'm here in Columbus, Nationwide Club.
Okay. I'm in the Cincinnati area. Awesome. So how long have you been in Toastmasters?
About 6 years.
Okay.
This will be 6 years now.
All right. Yeah, I think I've been in
During the pandemic, I've been trying to host Zoom meetings with my family.
Oh, okay.
And the first one I did, I went through Eventbrite and added the invite, and something went wrong. So it was requiring everybody to register.
Oh yeah. Eventbrite, you have to register. I mean, so the better method would have been to use like Zoom registration or just regular Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
Hi, Roxanne.
So I was all by myself in my room.
Oh, we didn't check. Oh, okay.
Yeah, all by myself singing. And so then I left the room, and then it says, "You want to lead the meeting too?" And I said, "Sure." And then it was like, "No."
So we do have a few people. So I'm gonna put. Okay, so Stephen was by
we
himself.
got Steve Lanham in a room by himself too.
Yeah. So okay, I moved him to 18.
Okay.
So let's check to see if anybody else is alone.
Rachel Hogan.
And I almost did the help thing just to let you know, but I thought, I'll come back out here and talk to you guys.
Okay, I moved Rachel to 7.
Okay, perfect.
I don't know why, but I just did that.
No, that's good.
Yeah, but that was
good
thanks,
practice.
thanks, because I didn't think to scroll down and look at all the rooms.
But when you said there's 38 people in 20 rooms, I thought,
Yeah, I did too many rooms. Yeah, I should have. I did bad math on that.
math here for you.
And it's because I normally like to keep extra rooms, but yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
So Roxanne, I just made you a co-host. So do you see the breakout button?
I see everything I see the breakout button. Yeah,
Okay,
I
so
do.
click on breakout.
I
breakout
do.
Rooms.
Okay.
So you should be able to see a list of where everybody's at.
I do. And Denise is not in a room. You want me to throw her someplace?
No, this is Denise right here. So yeah.
I know.
I'm a co-host. I'm in the co-host room.
But I was glad to see, this is the reason I did this, was to see how to do the breakout rooms.
Yeah.
Because we just did our contest and we had the evaluation contest. Well, I need to throw somebody out of the room. I wasn't the co-host, the host, and my host didn't know how to do it.
Yeah.
So we basically kicked them out of the meeting and text them to come back in.
That works too. You can always move them to the waiting room or something.
Yeah, well, we just kicked them out of the meeting. So no, and you're doing a great job, Michael. I've really enjoyed how.
Thank you. This really isn't an easy subject to talk about because of the way the Zoom controls are, because everybody sees it differently.
Mm-hmm.
No, and not being, because I used to teach this kind of stuff, and it's so much easier when you're walking behind people at desktop and you can see what they're looking at.
Yes.
And everybody's on a common platform. It's just, this is a tough job to do.
Yes.
Yeah, because you can't see what they can see. And then with Zoom, because they're constantly making changes and have weird settings, like how when I made several people co-hosts, they couldn't see the breakout room. And so it's just a setting that they've got set. All right, so the rooms are about to close. All right, 13 seconds. All right.
2, 1, boom. Everybody should be coming back now.
Michael, just a quick question, but maybe you might want to tell everybody how to update their Zoom before this meeting's over.
Yes, good point there. Let's do
Don't
that.
do it now.
No, not now.
Yeah, you
Not
can't do it
now.
now.
But
So-
maybe at the end of the meeting, tell everybody how to update to the newest thing. That was
Well,
a
I'm
lot
going
of
to
questions.
show you guys. So good point. Thank you. Hopefully you guys enjoy that. So I know at the conference we're going to be doing something like this for speed networking. It's probably going to be like maybe 3 minutes. We got to figure out what time frame makes the most sense, where you're just going to be paired up one-on-one so you can speed network with multiple people. And I think it'll be fun.
I'm going with 2 minutes per person in the room.
That's what I was thinking too. 2 minutes.
Pretty good.
Table topic.
2 people. Yep. So I'm going to share my screen real quick.
That's table topic, everybody.
All right. So I'm sharing my screen again. So Bill asked about how do you update your Zoom software? So you all should have a dialogue that looks like this when you first join Zoom, or when you're not in a meeting, you can do this. So when you're not in a meeting, you can come here in the upper right-hand corner where your profile picture goes. It may be blank for you. If I click on that now, I have lots of options. One of the options is check for updates. So if I click check for updates, it goes through and tells me you're up to date.
Okay.
And you can also click on the release notes to find out what they've added.
Where did you find this, Michael? I'm sorry.
Okay. So bring this dialogue up first, and you probably can do it now while you're in the meeting, really.
Okay.
So if everybody want to try to find your dialogue like this. It should be on one of your Zoom icons. Okay. And so once you bring this up in the upper right-hand corner, for me, where my profile picture is, for you, it may be blank. Click on that little picture, and then you should see check for updates.
I see. Okay, thank you.
Mike, do they have an option for just like automatic updates?
Well, they do automatic updates for all major updates where they're force you to update. But for the incremental things that they're just fixing bug fixes, they don't force it on everybody.
Okay.
Michael, I don't see that.
Okay, so tell me, what do you see, Brenda?
Well, I see your screen that you're sharing with me.
Okay.
And then I can see my bottom icons, the one with the participants and all that.
But you don't see your Zoom?
No, in the right-hand corner, I see view. I see at the
Hey,
top, view options.
Go all the way to the bottom of your computer screen on your task bar.
Okay, I'm at the bottom, but at the bottom left, I have my mic. The bottom right, I have leave.
So Brenda, can you do this for me?
Escape button, and then it'll make your screen not a full screen.
What am I doing again?
Hit your escape button.
Sorry, I didn't get that again.
The escape key in the upper left-hand corner of your keyboard. Escape.
I see that Zoom.
So Brenda, can you share your screen for us?
Hey, Michael, it's Mike Davis.
Hey, Mike.
Real quick, I just did the update and it kicked me off because it had to. So just be careful. If you do the update, you might have to join.
Okay.
That's why I didn't do it.
Thank you. Yeah, don't do the update yet. Thank you.
I didn't see it until it was too late.
Yeah, I was
I hit the share screen button.
Okay.
And this is what came up.
Are you sharing your screen now? Let me see.
Yeah, that's my laptop. Can you see that?
Perfect. Yep. So down at the bottom, Brenda, where it has the Zoom icon, near your Word document icon.
Down here at the bottom?
Yeah, so click on that.
Where
So that's your meeting controls, but you don't see the...
No.
Do a right click. Right click on that.
I am. I'm right clicking away. Okay.
Click on Zoom.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you're not signed in, that's why.
Oh, okay.
So you have version 5.49, but you're just not signed in, so that's why you're not seeing it.
So should I go out and sign in or?
No, not right now. I don't want you to get kicked off right now, but later you can sign in and update it.
Oh, it says leave meeting. Cancel that.
Yeah, you don't want to leave meeting. Okay.
Now, so I just hit this and get back. Uh-oh. I'm losing everything now.
So go ahead and do stop share, Brenda. Are you?
Okay. Okay.
All right, perfect.
So
All right.
I have something a little different, and
Okay.
let me get back to the meeting. Let's see, can I share this with you? Because I thought it was kind of interesting. Where'd you go, you silly little thing? Zoom. So now I can't see it. It's not an option.
Can you explain it to us, Lori?
It was a little pop-up window. It said, yeah, there are updates out there for you. And it listed all the details of the update. And then it said, it says new version is available, release notes, blah, 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 blah. You can scroll down and read it all. And I didn't do anything. It says paused, download will resume when your meeting ends.
Yeah, because you don't want to upload it
Right,
now.
right. So I said, okay, then you pause and you update when my meeting ends. So how'd you miss that, Mike? Was that not there for you?
No, well, I was already updated.
No, not you, Mike Davis.
Oh,
I'm
Mike.
sorry.
Oh, yeah.
It could be the version that he had before.
It could be.
Yeah.
That's a good thought.
Yeah, mine says the same thing that yours says. So mine is
Gotcha.
paused until I end the meeting.
So did
Gotcha.
mine.
All right. So guys, we're at the top of the hour, and I can't remember when this was scheduled for, an hour or an hour and a half.
Hour and a half.
But I want to show you something. Was it an hour and a half?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay, super. So I want to show you guys something real quick. So the document that I shared with you is a Zoom tutorial. It was created by Toastmasters International for some of the regional training that we've been doing. And it's a really good guide. So I'm not going to be cover everything that's on here, but there's lots of links to like video tutorials and articles that explain how to do different things, like how to schedule meetings. What are meeting templates? Because meeting templates can be useful for certain cases to keep a common setup for different meetings. Right? How to test your computer and audio, to mute all functions, all those different functions, video testing, screen sharing. So there's lots of good information in this document here. And it's a 7-page document. So you all should have access to it. I know Kent put the link in the chat for everybody.
Are those hyperlinks?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, these are all hyperlinks to click on. Yep, so you can get more details there. So just in case if anybody has to leave, then I just want to make sure that you have the document and you can get more training. All right. So
Michael, I have a question before we get off.
Yes, Brenda.
When you get finished, I want to know how I can use my background.
Okay. So let me share. So Brenda, you don't have a green screen and you don't have a clear background, so it may not work for you.
Okay.
I'm just letting you know. But I'll show you how to actually test it. And you can test it right now.
Well, I go to that choose video background, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and then when it comes up, I have one, I guess, background I could do, but when I click on that, this is what I get.
Yes, and it's because, like I said, you don't have a green screen behind you and you don't have a clear background. So your computer's not able to distinguish you from your background. It's really tough if it's not clear.
Okay, so what do I do about that? What's the green screen?
Yep, so a green screen, I'll show you my green screen.
Because I clicked on here, I have a green screen. If I click it off, it goes like that.
Yeah, so I have a physical green screen that I purchased from Amazon.
Oh, okay.
So if you do get a green screen, you want to make sure it's well lit, that you have good lighting on your green screen. It works out really well.
Okay, so I can't do anything unless I have the green screen.
Yep. And so you can do a green screen. Also, another option is, I know like Mike Davis has an actual backdrop that he used to use. And so you can actually buy like a backdrop from Amazon and put that behind you as well, if you want to like block off your background.
Yeah, I kind of remember Kent saying something like that to me the last time. I remember that now.
Yeah, and I know Kent has he has a green screen that's attached to his chair. It's a little round one, so if he swivels around, you see it moving with him in his chair.
Okay. So can you buy them like at Office Depot, Staples, places like that, or?
Yeah, Amazon for sure. You can order it if you don't want to go out. Office Depot should have one, but most places now you just got to. I mean, it's easier just to order it.
How much are they?
I want to offer.
That's $60.
Okay, I want to offer a cheap solution that I used before I got this computer that does well with graphics. It's just I bought a good Dollar Tree and buy a couple of the green plastic tablecloths, and I say couple because you need to layer them because they're kind of thin, or a better quality of a plastic tablecloth, and then tape it on your wall behind you. And make sure again the light is shining, this from this direction and not this direction.
Okay.
Yep. So just
Thank you.
anything solid. So right. So yeah, a green tablecloth that you can get from a dollar store. Yep. You can make it pretty simple.
But it has to be green.
No, it could be green or blue. Really, it needs to be a solid color.
Okay.
Because here, if you see my screen, you get to pick the colors as well. Like if I didn't have a green screen, I could pick whatever color it is and make it work.
I'll see if I can make something. Thank you, Kim. Thank you both.
Yeah. And Mike Davis, do you still have a is that a solid wall behind you now, or is it a backdrop?
It's a great backdrop. I'm just typing in here. I'm going to put a link to Amazon where I got my backdrop. I'm not an affiliate, so I'm not getting anything from them. But I'll put that in there. You have to say that now.
Yeah,
you do. You especially have to say it if you are an affiliate. But there's a backdrop, and I've got a big frame that holds it. So I'll put that in here. And you're right. I think I paid $35 for the backdrop, and I paid like $40 or $45 for the frame.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, but it does come in handy if you don't want to necessarily have your background shown and just control it a little bit better. Yep. So Steve has a sheet that he's using as his green screen. See, that works.
And yeah.
Yep. You just got to get it. You really want it no wrinkles in it because then it'll work better. But
yeah, scrap it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's something that we put together very cheaply. Went to Walmart and got some green fabric and just a little clothes hanger thing about 5 feet wide, and it works for us.
Green and blue is what they actually used to use in the movies before CGI. The camera picks it up better.
Yep, I agree. Yeah, my screen here on the other side is blue.
Yep.
All right.
Steve, you said a clothes hanger thing. Is that
Michael?
Yes.
This is Juliana. For some reason, I wasn't able to share my screen. I don't know why. I'm using MacBook Air.
Okay. So with Macs have an extra security level.
Oh, okay.
Where you've got to allow your Mac to, you've got to allow Zoom to be able to share your screen for you.
Oh, okay. That explains it. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. I see Lori's having fun with her background.
Well, I was telling them in the breakout room, this is the background I use when I'm timer. So everybody knows where I am and can find me. And then I downloaded the Toastmaster international backgrounds to use for the timing, the red, yellow, green.
Right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make everybody a co-host just so you can see what the co-host features look like.
Okay.
And you end up with a lot of power as co-host. Just give me a minute. I'm going to go through.
And Lori, if you do timing for a contest, you may not want to use that background because you want the least distracting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The purpose of it is to know that I am the timer. That's where you look. That was the point, but I hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm being a judge. I don't want to be timer during a contest. As Mike Davis can attest, I sometimes forget to throw the things up at the right time.
You might not want to mention you're a judge.
So if you have the co-host features, you can click on breakout rooms and you can look and see how you would actually create breakout rooms. Don't open a room, but you can play around with creating them rather.
Michael, I'm still seeing you sharing how to schedule a Zoom meeting. Is that what you're doing?
I'm gonna stop my share. Sorry about that. So right now I'm just going through and I have to do it one at a time. I'm adding people, allowing people to be co-hosts.
Is there a limit to how many co-hosts you can have? Do you know, Mike?
I do not know. I may find out.
We're about to find out. And you probably do want to be mindful when you do make people co-hosts, because they have the power to do stuff once they have that.
They can end your meeting. They can close breakout rooms. They can kick people out.
Since I don't want to do this, I understand the assign automatically, assign manually as you're going in and putting your list of names in there. But when you say open all rooms, they go in there automatically, right?
Yes.
Okay. So it's just the assignment that can be done manually or automatically.
Correct. And so you can play around with moving people too. So you can create the rooms now, just don't open them up. So long as you don't open them, you're fine to test it out right now.
Oh, okay.
Did you say automagically?
I did.
Lori, you're blowing my mind wearing those 3D glasses and then another pair sitting on top of your head.
Lori doesn't like
Blowing
to
my
stand out.
mind.
She doesn't like attention, right?
Holy psychedelic.
It's got to be that theater degree. Let me fix that for y'all. Hang on.
Michael, I just double checked. There is no maximum number of co-hosts. Everybody can be a co-host.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Exactly. All right, I heard my name. Yes. Who called my name?
This is Judy.
Oh, okay.
If I have somebody who is going to be competing in my evaluation club contest and they're using their phone,
Okay.
they've just
Oh. Somebody open up the breakout rooms.
Okay, who's playing God?
All right, so I closed them all. Okay.
The reason why you don't give everybody co-host abilities.
Exactly. Let's try this feature out and see what happens.
I wonder what open all rooms does.
Perfect illustration.
Yeah. All right, so everybody's back now. So
Well, doesn't this remind you of fire drill?
Yeah. So there was a question about contestant using a cell phone.
and they're barely able to get onto Zoom by themselves. They have no idea how to get out of a breakout room. We practiced at our last club meeting. I assigned the breakout rooms. They got into the breakout rooms, but this guy on his cell phone doesn't know how to come back to the breakout room.
Yeah.
So my choice is, okay, make you the second contestant. I'll close it and you come back, and the other person's going to be first. But how do I deal with that? Does anybody know how to use it on a cell phone where the exit?
Yeah, so there is an option. Let me where's my phone at?
First of all, what kind of cell phone is it? Is it Android or Apple?
I don't know, and I don't know that he knows.
Oh,
bad.
Send somebody from your club to his house to be with him during the meeting to help him. I mean, seriously, about the only
talk
way you're
about
going to get
technically
him to
challenged.
work.
Yeah, I think that's the best deal to do that.
And Judy, you can also, so what you can do is, so let's say that there's, he's contestant number 2 and you have 3 other contestants behind him. So what I would do is I would put him, when it's time to move him, I would move him from whatever breakout room he's in to his own breakout room. And then I would delete that breakout room. So when you delete that breakout room, it's going to move him back to the main session. It forces him to leave it.
I see. So I can create a new breakout room, put him in it, and then close his breakout room, leaving everybody else over there.
Yes, because they'll be in a different breakout room.
That's
interesting.
If you had to. But really, he should see a leave room button. That's what it's.
Yeah, I had him move all around, and he's the type of person who can reply to an email, but doesn't know how to initiate an email.
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord.
So you have that concept of what I'm having to deal with, trying to get him to figure this out.
So I would say, Judy, test that with your club if you can, just with a few people in a breakout room, because that's the thing about breakout rooms. You have to have enough people to make it work to do the test.
Okay, gotcha.
And if he wins at the area, you can't just make him number 2 because he's computer illiterate.
I know.
Yeah. So So you just put him wherever.
I know.
Based on a random. Yeah.
Thank you.
Good question. All right. So I was going to talk about creating scheduling meetings. But if you guys think that you can figure that part out on your own, we can skip that part. Right?
That might be the part where they get to, that's their homework assignment. They can try that help sheet and actually go through and try and do that sort of thing.
Yeah, because that's something you can do in your own free. You can have the free version of Zoom. You can set up meetings yourself and just play around with the different settings. Because there's so many settings in there.
Yeah,
and the
this
video
is
is like 1
Denise. I
minute.
think we were talking about that a little bit during the breakout session, but in scheduling a meeting, I tried scheduling several family meetings. The first time I tried it, I did the Eventbrite to invite everybody, because Eventbrite lets you put in phone numbers and email addresses for people. But when they got the invitation, the Zoom link, when they clicked on the Zoom link, it was asking them to register.
Yeah.
And
that's only
once
because
they
you turn
registered,
registration
I
on.
didn't know how to say, okay, you're good.
Well, I guess
Thanks, Mike.
that's when you need to distinguish between Zoom registration and Eventbrite registration, because those are two different beasts.
Yeah, and I don't know which one it was.
Well, it sounded like you had both. You sound like you had Eventbrite, and then you also had Zoom registration turned on.
Okay.
Like for this meeting here, I had Zoom registration turned on because the district wants to know who's all attended the session.
Right. And did you, with that registration turned on, did you get like an email or some kind of notification?
Yeah, so let me show that real quick, because that, even as Zoom hosts for the district, you're not going to have access to this information, but I'm still going to show it to you real quick. So right now, I'm in the public relations Zoom account here. Are you guys able to see my screen? I'm not sharing now.
Not yet.
Okay, let's see. It helps if you share the screen, Michael. All right. Now are you able to see my Zoom browser?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is today's meeting, our webinar Wednesday Zoom training. At the bottom here, I can see that 52 people registered for today's event. I can come here and click on view to see who's registered in the 52. Okay. So I have all the details. So Denise, for in your situation, that's kind of what you would have done. If I want to schedule a new meeting, I just schedule a meeting at the top. And I'll leave it at my meeting 2. I will pick the date and time. So let's say it's Friday 29th at 9 p.m. for 1 hour. So Denise, for you, you said you had registration. If I click registration,
I see. Okay.
it requires people to register.
Okay.
If you don't want registration, just leave it blank. Like for most club meetings, you're not going to have registration turned on.
Right, right.
If you don't turn on the registration, do you still have a way of knowing everyone who attended?
Loosely. So you get reports. Some people, if they have the actual client and they're logged in, you know who they are, and you have their email address. Some people, you just get their name. Some people, you only can see the name that they show here in Zoom. So like for you, Lori, I wouldn't have your last name. I would just have Lori S2 DTM. Right?
Gotcha.
So unless I know, okay, that's Lori, then I wouldn't be able to like match you up. Like if it was like a TLI or a COT. So in those cases, sometimes we like to use full registration to make sure we get all the information.
One thing can I add something real quick, sir? When it comes to registration, there are some meetings that I actually use registration, because trying to get people to change their names is like pulling teeth. And a lot of times they'll get like Bob's iPod or Bob's iPhone or whatever like that. It's like Susie's iPhone. I'm like, yeah, Susie.
Yeah.
So anyway, this kind of and what I also do is when I have training classes, I get their first name, their last name, their email address, their phone number in case I need to call them, and what platform they're on. That way I have an idea of, instead of asking those, what platform are you on? Oh, I don't know. So that way I know up front.
So
also,
when
it says the email that has the registration link to the meeting, bear in mind that is an individually assigned link. If somebody shares that with somebody else, all of a sudden you'll have more than one individual that has the same name in the same meeting. Everybody like,
we've been
good
there.
Lord. Ah. So that's something to keep in mind if you do use the registration.
But there are certain cases where registration makes sense. Like for example, for our area and division contests, instead of using Eventbrite, we're probably just going to use Zoom registration for that because it just makes more sense to do that.
Okay.
To keep everybody here. And so one of the things you can do, like Kent was saying, you can actually add additional fields. So registration is turned on. I'm at the bottom of the screen where it says registration here. If I click on edit now, I've got a few options. So the first option here says automatically approve. In most cases, we want automatically approve. If this was something that I was doing, it was a paid event, I would have it on manual approve. So that way I had to, I had to say, well, okay, this person paid me, now I can approve them.
Okay.
I can
Otherwise,
also,
you're going to manually do that, and that's a very time-consuming thing.
Exactly. You can choose to receive email notifications every time somebody registers. Got other options here. Allow attendees to join from multiple devices. Show social share button so they can actually share the registration with other people. So those are some options you have. We also have questions. The default question is last name and email, right? So first name, email, and then last name is optional, but it's marked as required here. But I can also use these standard questions, or I can go to custom questions where I can say, okay, what club are you in? Type of, or, are you in Toastmasters? Single answer.
It's also where he'd ask, what platform do you use, type of thing.
Yeah, but you could. I mean,
most people
don't know what platform they're on. They're gonna be like, I don't know.
On what device will you join the meeting?
Yeah, and it depends on how far in advance people are going to register too, because some people don't know, because they're like, the contest is 2 weeks away or whatever. I'm registering now because I got the email. Right. But they don't know what device they're going to use. They're going to use whatever they remember to use. It could be their phone, could be their computer, iPad.
Yep.
Both.
So how would I send this to people that are only using their phones? So I've got the younger population who aren't on their PCs or their iPads. They're using their phones to get their email.
You send everybody the same link, Denise. So great question. I mean, send everybody the same link. So right now from my phone, I have full access to the meeting. It's going to be small.
Yeah.
I have full access because I have the Zoom playing on my iPhone.
Okay, but how did you get the invitation to them without emailing it?
No, you still have to email it. Or
you
text
still
it.
have to email it. So you have to have an email address for everyone that you're inviting to your Zoom meeting.
Well, okay, so no. So you have to have a way to contact them to make them aware of your meeting. So it could be a Facebook message, like however you normally communicate with them, Denise. It could be a Facebook message. It could be WhatsApp.
There's a younger segment that is using phone only.
Well,
they're not even using Facebook.
Yes, you just text it to them. So if you have the Zoom phone app, you can easily send a text. Like I can copy the invitation on my phone and I can send a text to people.
Okay. I'll have to figure out how to do that.
Well, when I tried it,
the meeting I scheduled, when I tried it, the meeting I scheduled did not show up on my app in Zoom.
On your phone?
On my phone, it didn't show up.
And you were logged in both places?
Yes.
Yeah, it should show underneath meetings.
Okay, I'll keep working with it and try to figure it out.
Okay, all right. Any other questions that you guys have? I mean, there's a lot to Zoom. We could talk about Zoom for the next 3 hours, but
Michael, Michael, this is Wendy. I have a quick question.
Yes, Wendy.
How do you assign an alternate host?
So the alternate host that you see on the website only works if people are on a shared Zoom account.
Hey, what's going on, cuz? Sorry about I missed your call. I was on a meeting.
So for example, yeah.
I muted him.
Yeah, thank you. All right. So if like for the district, we have 9 Zoom accounts for the district. So any one of those 9 accounts could be an alternate host. But other than that, Wendy, you really don't assign alternate hosts.
Okay, I was wondering because the
So what
the
you
host can only do certain things, which
correct.
if they're not a host, there's some things you can't do unless you are the actual host.
Correct.
Or not the host,
You can
but
be
the
co-host.
actual owner of the account.
Yeah, so there's something you can only do with owner account. So owner account is the only one that can create polls. The owner of the account is the only one that can create registrations and actually create meetings, really. They're the only ones that can create new meetings.
Okay. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. And so if you are the owner of the account, but you need to give someone else the ability to host. Like, for example, I'm a division director. If I want to let my clubs take over the host role, then what I do for them is I send them the host key, and they take that host key, and that host key allows them to reclaim the host role for the meeting.
Okay, so if I know I'm not going to be at the an upcoming meeting, and I own the account because I know one of the all I have to do is send whoever's going to be, send them the host key, and then they'll be able to take the host position.
Yes.
In my absence.
Yes. So as long as your meeting is set up where anyone can join, and there's no waiting room.
Correct, and I have got that way now.
Yeah. So that's important because you don't want them to be stuck in a waiting room. Like, I got the host key, but I can't get in, right?
Okay.
So,
Thank you. That was that was definitely some good information because I wasn't sure how to do that. I know I always make sure I'm one because I'm the only person who can get it, you know, that I have to get in to assign another host.
Yeah. And I've been there before where I've had to use my phone. Like, I'm going to be in a meeting and I'm like, okay, I'm going to connect with my phone. I'm going to assign the first person in as the host.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to leave, right?
That's what I've done too. So that I'm glad to hear that though. That's a good thing. I didn't know about the host key, like how it worked.
And so your host key is located under your profile. And I think I'm still sharing my screen.
Yes, you are. Thank
So
you.
If you
Everybody
go to
write this
profile-
down.
Oh, I'm not going to show it. Come on, Olivia. But yeah. So under profile, you'll see host key. And you just click show and you'll get your host key. And you can always change the host key too if you needed to.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yep.
And normally after you share it with one, that's when you resequence that host key.
Exactly.
What is the host key? Is it a sequence that you have to type in somewhere or what?
Yes. So it's just a sequence of numbers that if Stephen, if you show up at a meeting and there's no host, you have the option as a participant, you have the option of reclaiming the host key role.
Where do you put it in to?
Okay, good question. So if you click on participants, you're not going to see it now because I'm already the host. But if I wasn't the host, you'd click on participants and then you should see the 3 little dots.
Oh yeah, for more?
Yes. And there will be an option that says claim host key. I mean, no, reclaim host role.
No, I don't see that.
Well, it's not going to exist now because I'm already the host.
Oh, okay.
And I'm logged in with the actual account owner.
Oh, okay. So it would be that there is no host and then you can reclaim it.
Yes.
And you'd have to enter that code.
Correct.
Okay.
That's provided that you don't have a waiting room.
Yes.
You have
If you're stuck in a waiting room, you're in trouble.
Well,
Yep.
So if we're using the divisions, recurring meeting invitation type contact link, whatever, for our meetings, because we don't have a budget and we don't have a way to have a professional one ourselves. So we don't have any control over the type of settings that we have. I go in every week and I claim the host. I put in the host code and I claim to be the host.
Yes.
So then I'm not the owner of the account. I just claim the host. I cannot do the polls and I cannot do all the things that you're saying.
So really, polls is the only thing you can't do that you would need to do for a meeting.
So I can't experiment with that.
With the polls, no.
Nope. Unless you have the only way you can experiment it is if you fork
free
over
account,
Loot and buy your own pro account, Or if you go to the real owner of that account and say, oh, please, 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 please. Of course, they'll probably read you the riot act and what you can and can't do. And here, sign this form. That's the only way to do it.
Yeah.
Now, so I made all you co-hosts. Can you click on polls now? Are you able to, are you guys able to launch the polls as co-hosts?
No.
Yeah, I can relaunch it.
You can relaunch it. So Bill, you can't see it?
I can relaunch it, but I can't make my own poll.
Yeah, you can't make your own. So what I was gonna say is you can work with the account owner and say, hey, I need a poll for our meeting. Can you set up a generic one for, like, let's say we do best table topics. Can you set up a best table topics poll for us?
Right.
So you can create, so that your account owner can create basic polls for your meeting.
Yeah, the best one thing I've learned before we went to the enterprise accounts, I created meeting templates. And with that template, I had a generic type of voting system for for best speaker, best evaluator, best table topics. And I created these multiple things such as like, okay, if you have 2 and if you have 3 people and if you have 4 people, and just made this big, huge Mongo poll of sorts. And then save that as a default. And then whenever I created new meetings on the account, I would use that default. And of course, then those polling would automatically get logged in there as opposed to setting it up over and over and over again, because it is
Absolutely.
It is time consuming.
Awesome. Well, guys, I want to, based on the time, I want to go ahead and officially end the meeting. However, I'll stick around if anybody has any additional questions.
I want to follow up on what Kent just said.
Okay.
Which is, so when you went to all the trouble to make that Mongo poll, when you bring it, you come in and it's there in your meeting, can you then select just the questions you want?
Well, he said you create multiple polls, so you can select which poll you're going to show.
See,
I see. I thought it was a single poll with a ginormous. Okay, I get it.
No, actually, what I did was I created for club meetings in our particular club. We always vote on the best speaker and the best evaluator and the best table topics. The problem is you don't know how many are going to go meeting to meeting.
No, I get it. I get that. I get it.
So I had speaker. So basically, when I have speaker poll, I have speaker -2, and then there's 2 selections. Speaker -3, and then there's 3 selections. And I don't put in names. I just say SP1, SP2, SP3, and use that. That way, it's reusable. And same thing applies for table topics, and the same thing for evaluators. So when it comes to doing the poll, then I pull up the correct poll at that time, dealing with how many participants you have on it. And bear in mind, if you're a co-host, you can't, if you're a host or a co-host, you can't vote.
Michael, you want to mention about saving chat just before everybody leaves?
Yeah, so good point. So you can open up the chat. In the right-hand corner of the bottom of the chat, there's a little button that says more. If you click on that, it gives you the option of saving the chat. So it's not going to save any file attachments, but it will keep your links and all your texts.
That being said, can you repost that checklist? It's my history.
Yes. I will post that now.
Appreciate that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You mean the file that you're supposed to download?
No, yeah, I put the link to it.
Okay.
I copied yours, Kent.
And I was fiddling with buttons and I logged myself out of the meeting. So.
Whoops.
Yeah.
And so there's the PDF version of the file as well.
Got it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
But you got to download it now, because once the meeting ends, you cannot download it.
Got it downloaded.
All right, guys, I've enjoyed this, but any other questions? Thanks, Tanisha.
No, thank you. Great job.
Thank you. Yeah, there's so much more to Zoom too. I mean, it's, yeah.
So who wants to be the next Zoom master for the next TLI?
Oh my God, look at the time.
Are you gonna post that? Are you gonna post that poll and ask us the questions again now?
Oh, you want me to?
Well, I don't know.
Well, see, you guys are all co-hosts now. And so I would have to go through the trouble of making you not a co-host in order to do it. So that's
Oh,
why
I
didn't do
see. Okay, so that,
it.
no, I just didn't know if you wanted to know now how confident do I feel about some of those other things.
You
Michael,
can
Dan-
post it in the
Before
chat
and
then
after.
you can
Michael
post it in the
Campbell-Vinia.
chat and we can respond yes or no.
Yeah, well, people
Michael
have already left
Campbell-Vinia,
too.
thank
So
you very much. Thank you, guys.
you're welcome. You're welcome, Bill.
You guys are awesome, man. Appreciate it.
I have a
Yeah.
quick
Thank
question.
you.
All right,
Do
Tanisha.
y'all, are y'all gonna do like assistant Zoom masters so that whoever wants to be Zoom master, maybe if they're not 100%